This video about screen addiction is by Ashley Martinez and Ellie McDaniel. So screen addiction works the same as other addictions. Screen use causes an increase of dopamine in our bodies, which affects impulse control. Over time, our bodies can't produce dopamine the way it did before, and we form a reliance on the dopamine hits caused by screen use. Long-term effects of screen addiction in children include difficulty with problem solving and creative energy, body weight issues, depression, and anxiety. One factor associated with social media causing screen addiction is self-esteem. Getting likes and followers can raise someone's self-esteem, which feels really good, but at the same time, you're looking at other people's posts, but you only see the best of their lives, so it kind of creates a sense that they are better or more successful than you, despite not necessarily knowing what's going on behind the screen. A lot of apps also have features such as stories and live streams, which make it really easy to become dependent on the gratification of constantly being on the app. Prolonged use of social media is associated with mental health problems such as stress, anxiety, and depression. Most apps use machine learning to make algorithms that are really good at predicting what the user would like to see. Machine learning is where the computer can learn without explicitly being programmed. So instead of the traditional method of building algorithms where a programmer writes a set of instructions that we can understand, the programmer instead builds a teacher bot algorithm and a builder bot algorithm. The builder bot builds algorithms and the teacher bot tests them using some criteria given by the programmer. In the context of social media, this would be how long the user spends on the app, or whether or not the user liked the image or video that popped up. It's because of this process and continuous improvement that apps such as TikTok are so addictive. They're kind of designed to keep you engaged for as long as possible. So this slide just kind of explains um, the biological aspect of why humans get addicted to the screens. It works the same as other addictions, but it's less intense usually. And then this is the statistics. Um, Adults in the UK spend an average of over 8 hours a day on a screen, and it's also linked to worse eyesight or nearsightedness. And then this is just more statistics. A link was found between excessive social media use and poor academic performance, which really affects us as undergraduate students.
Additionally, there is a strong negative connection between screen time and sleep quantity and quantity due to the blue light that is emitted during the times in which melatonin is supposed to be released. Melatonin and cortisol are in an opposite relationship. When melatonin is high, cortisol should be low and vice versa. When either of these gets out of balance, our ability to sleep is affected. Another statistic is there was a study done in San Diego State University that found that increased screen time correlates to an increase of symptoms of depression and suicidal thoughts. We found 4 ways to deal with the screen addiction. These 4 ways are digital detox, turning off notifications that aren't urgent, changing the settings on our phone to grayscale, and charging your phone outside of your bedroom. The first I will address is digital detox. The most effective way to overcome screen addiction would be to avoid screens, but that is impractical in today's world. Reducing the amount of screen time could increase the possibility of breaking the cycle of screen addiction. As phones are getting updates every year with better features for phones, they are getting updates to include screen time, do not disturb, setting limitations to what time or how long an app can be used. These new features introduced to phones allow the person to be conscious to how long they are on their phones and how they are contributing to their screen addictions. On the other hand, turning off notifications that aren't urgent. Most notifications sent to our phones are either sent by robots or it isn't necessary to respond right away. But the notifications make us feel like we have to pay attention to our phones and read it right away. Turning off notifications for everything that isn't urgent can help reduce the need to be on our phones and let us relax a little bit. Part of why our phones are so addictive is because of all the bright colors. This is a common advertising tactic because bright colors activate the reward track in our brains. Additionally, the blue light emitted from our phone's screen regulates circadian rhythm, which is the body's natural wake and sleep cycle, hindering our ability to sleep if we use it too close to bedtime, because it prevents our brains from releasing melatonin, a crucial hormone for falling asleep. Constant exposure to blue light can affect vision and prematurely age the eyes. Changing the color scheme on our phones to grayscale can help reduce the amount of bright colors and blue light that is exposed to us on a daily basis. Finally, we can charge our phones outside of our bedrooms. The app we chose to modify is Instagram. The way we would make Instagram less addictive is by first removing stories and reels that were added to compete with other social media platforms such as Snapchat and TikTok. Stories are used to post about a user's day-to-day activities instead of bigger events that a regular post is usually used for. Story makes Instagram more addictive by allowing users to be on app posting about their lives more often. To combat this, we would remove stories so that users don't feel the need to be present on the app as often, and stories do not fall within the main functionality of the app. We would also change the like feature of Instagram so that liking a post is anonymous. A user will only be able to see the number of likes as opposed to just seeing the individuals that actually like the post. This prevents users from obsessing over who is liking their posts, as well as keeping track of which posts others like. For example, some younger people keep track of whose posts their significant others or crushes like, which is unnecessary to the functionality of the app. The Instagram algorithm analyzes every piece of content posted to the platform. It takes metadata, including captions and alt text applied to images, hashtags, and engagement metrics into account. Based on this information, it distributes content in a way designed to ensure that users have easy access to what they are most interested in seeing. This is the last change we would make if we were to remove the algorithm that finds posts that users would like in the Explore feature. Users would still be able to search for accounts they would like to follow, as well as see accounts they don't follow, but having the algorithm adds an unnecessarily addictive element to the feature as it keeps people scrolling through the post for long periods of time. Along this line, we would completely remove the Reels feature of the app. It is completely outside the main functionality of the app and was only added to compete with TikTok. This feature is addictive for the same reason. It keeps users scrolling endlessly because algorithm finds Reels in the user's app. This is how we would remove one of the most addicting apps that most of the young generation use and most of the people who are most downloading it right now. And these are the references we use in our research.